Hello and welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. We are here with the Irish Abroad Show. Better late than ever, but we're here nonetheless. And it's myself, Adam, and Killian, and we're here to basically discuss all the latest from this week. Starting off, lads, there was obviously the biggest talking points were probably the fact that Aaron Connolly is back among the goals. 2 goals on his birthday there yesterday, and he was involved in everything if you didn't see the highlights already. But I'm sure we'll come down through that. But I suppose I'll bring it in just with some of the games and stuff like that, and then we're going to go through a little bit of that. So obviously the first game of the week was Spurs and Fulham, and Spurs beat Fulham 1-0. Matt Doherty was an unused sub. He did play against Preston though, against a lot of the Irish lads, which we'll come to as well. Then in the EFL Cup during the week, Gavin Bazunu played as Newcastle beat Southampton 1-0 in the first leg of the semi-final. First leg, so they have another game to play, I think. Then Leicester played Walsall in the FA Cup. Oisin McEntee was an unused sub there. And then Birmingham drew 2-2 with Blackburn. Kevin Long started and Scott Hogan came on in the 64th minute. Bristol City beat West Brom with Dara O'Shea and Jason Malumbi playing in that one. 3-0. Mark Sykes played and assisted a goal as well there as well. So he's in flying form coming in to February now. Having had a good January. Then Fulham drew 1-1 with Sunderland. Shane Duffy, an unused sub. But just want to talk about Shane Duffy there while we're there. Adam, there's a lot of talk of Shane Duffy joining Fulham as a permanent deal, even though he's not been playing. But there's a lot of talk of him signing as a permanent deal so they can open up another loan signing, that is Fulham. Strange one there. It seems like wages are the only factors stopping that, even though he's not playing. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I did hear about that. I think it is a bit of a strange one, considering that, as you said, it kind of seems to be more of a quota thing rather than actually them wanting him, because he's not really playing. Like, there's no reason to really make that loan permanent. I think if I was Shane Duffy, I don't think I'd really want that move, just because you're not really getting a game. Like, there's no shame in not playing for Fulham. They've been a great team this year. They're not just going straight back down like they have in other years. They're really actually pushing up the table this year, and they've got some massive results, like especially a few weeks ago against Chelsea. They got huge results. So yeah, I think if I was Shane Duffy, I probably wouldn't want to join. Obviously the fact that it's a loan deal, I'm sure he'll have some say in it. I don't think he'd want to go though. But yeah, if I was him, I'd probably be saying him to not go, because you don't want to be at the age he's at in his career now. You want to be playing football, getting a game for Ireland, because there's a lot of actual competition now in that centre back role for Ireland. So I think if I was him, I'd definitely be looking at not making that move permanent.
Yeah, Killian, what's your opinion? Do you think that Duffy should go out and look for first team football somewhere? He's only got probably a couple more years of his prime left, especially if he wants to be playing with Ireland. But it seems as though he's probably settled in London, and that's probably the reason why he is choosing to stay there.
I mean, from Duffy's perspective, it's probably, obviously, as Adam said there, he's with the side they have at the minute and how well they're doing in the Premier League and everything, like they're could likely get European football at the end of the season. I don't think he's really going to get a sniff maybe in the cup competitions, or Fulham even still in the cup. I don't even know, but for Fulham's perspective, I think it's a pretty
that
good
was a
move,
cup game. Yeah, it was 1-1, so they've a replay with Sunderland.
Yeah, I mean, he's a proven player. Like, he's playing obviously a lot of football, and he's playing the Premier League, SPL, whatever. Like, if they need him, he's a good option to have. But in terms of his own personal career, I don't really think it's a great move.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people are thinking there. It'll be interesting to see whether he does stay there permanently. I personally think he should go out and just try and get some game time elsewhere. I'm sure there's a lot of London clubs, but then again, they're not playing. They're not paying Premiership wages or Premier League wages, whatever you want to call it these days. But anyway, we'll move down the scope there. Ipswich drew 0-0 with Burnley. Marcus Harness started that game, and Josh Cullen came on as a sub in the 59th minute. As we know, since then, Obafemi has signed for Burnley today on loan with a view to a permanent move in the summer, which is obviously good news as well. I suppose we'll stop there and talk about that. I think Obafemi going to Burnley to help them get into the Premier League. If he finished the season strongly, he could go there. They have the option to buy him. It makes sense. I hear it's like 3 million. It might go up depending on how well he does. If he finishes the season like he did last season with Swansea, happy days for everyone involved. There maybe not Swansea, but everyone else involved. And I think it'll only bode well for Ireland having him coming in good form, for the World Cup qualifiers in March. I suppose I'll come to you, Adam, and get your opinion on that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's a great move for Obafemi. You'd look at Burnley now and say you're almost guaranteeing yourself that this time next year you'll be a Premier League player. Like, they look fairly certain to go straight back up. Obafemi, in terms of Ireland, obviously it kind of looked like if maybe 6 months ago that he was going to be the guaranteed starting striker for Ireland, especially after that goal against Scotland. He's only got 4 caps for Ireland, and obviously that one goal against Scotland. But now with Ferguson coming through and how well he's done lately, you just think there's a lot of competition for places there. So the fact that he hasn't really been firing for Swansea lately, a lot of people saying it's down to his move, which is fair enough. But now he's gotten that move. Like, he's played 19 championship games and he's gotten 3 goals, which is nowhere near what he was doing last year. So you'd definitely like to think that for Ireland's sake, he'd kick on now for the rest of the season and then to the Premier League next year, hopefully. And it'll be, it's exciting for Ireland to have him and Ferguson up top as options.
Yeah, Killian, what's your opinion on Obafemi going to Burnley? When you saw it, were you thinking happy days or not?
I think it's a great move for him, and it's a great move for Burnley as well. Like, the option to buy for 3 million. I know he hasn't been on his best form this season in the Championship with Swansea, but if you look at the quality he has, and I think he'll definitely fit the Burnley style of play this season. Under Company, they've got a lot of young, exciting players. They're playing a really good brand of football, and I think it suits him. He's got the pace, he's got quality on the ball. He's rapid. Like, he's a good fit for them, and I think if he can find his form, 3 million is a bit of a bargain, and hopefully he'll find his form as well for Ireland as well.
Yeah, he's been our best player, arguably, over the last year, other than Josh Cullen. So I think it's a good move, and hopefully he'll be playing Premier League next season if he can take up, if he can help Burnley get up there, and then hopefully he'll be on the case there with them. I'm just looking through comments there. There's just a few that came in. I'll just quickly. Oops. When you have the volume up full. I'll just look at there. The Brian Hogan says Connolly on fire in the last 2 for Hull. Sean McLaughlin looks solid at centre half as well. I'd rather him over Kevin Long any day of the week. I think Duffy is finished, to be honest, lads. And then FT says his Brighton contract expires in June. That's Duffy, of course. And then FT again says Scott Twine back from injury. New South African striker signed. So Obafemi will have competition. Won't be easy. How will he react if he isn't playing regularly? Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. But I don't know if any of you have seen that video of Vincent Kompany when he's talking to the Anderlecht team, and he just doesn't seem like he gives a shit what anyone thinks, and he'll let roar at anyone. So I think Obafemi will probably be on his best behaviour, because I wouldn't imagine Vincent Kompany's a man to be messed with, and he seems to be, it seems to be that Kompany was the reason why he went there in the first place, just because of what he's done, what he's won in his career, and he wants to learn from him. That's what he said in his interview. Anyway, so yeah, look, there's Obafemi there. But anyway, we're going to talk about another Irish striker in the lower leagues doing well. Sheffield Wednesday won 1-1 Fleetwood. Promise on a Sherry goal. I know you wanted to speak about him there, Adam. And Phoenix Patterson was an unused sub for Fleetwood.
Yeah, I saw the goal. Promise, it was really good. It's typical of his Bowes days. A really good movement in the box, and then a diving header to finish it off. And he scored a few goals recently for Fleetwood. Like, since making that move, he actually has really stepped up to the plate, and he's been shown like this same kind of goal scoring form that he was for Bowes, where he was finishing chances when he got them. Like, the goal, he took the goal really well, and I'm really happy for him. He's doing really well over there, to be fair to him, and he's still so young as well. So I'm looking forward to see how he gets on.
How much do you miss him, lads? Killian, how much do you miss him?
Like, especially looking at how Bows were last season, like we need a man like Promise again. I mean, I'm optimistic this season, but he's a quality player. He was always good for us. Always enjoyed watching him, and I'm really happy for him. He's doing bits over there in England, and I hope he just keeps pushing up, keeps the quality go up, and I reckon he could be one to watch for the future anyway.
Yeah, I think the more like Scott Brown really trusts him, so he's doing the business for Fleetwood. I think they've a replay now with Sheffield Wednesday. Then we'll move it on to Southampton and Blackpool. 2-1 win for Southampton. Andy Lyons and CJ Hamilton both started at wing back positions. Andy Lyons did have a very good game by his own standards. A lot of people online, Kenny's kids and stuff like that, were saying how well he played. I'll get the stats up in a sec, but Bazunu was a sub. Willie Caballero started. Not really surprised by that because he played the game in midweek of the EFL Cup, and I think they've their second leg either this week or the week after. But obviously we know Bazunu is number one there. But are you surprised at how well Andy Lyons has done at Blackpool in his early days at Blackpool, Adam?
Oh no, to be honest, I'm not surprised at all. I felt like when I watched him playing for Bows a few years ago, I always felt like he was a really promising young right back. But when he went to Rovers, I actually was really, as much as I rated him, I couldn't believe how well he did. The amount of assists and goals he got last season playing as a left wing back under Stephen Bradley for Shamrock Rovers was unbelievable. He's so creative on the ball, and he's literally got every trait of a top quality wing back or full back that you could want, especially in the modern game. Like, he's got pace, he's got real energy down the flank, his crossing is really good, he's got an eye for a pass. Like, he basically ripped the League of Ireland to shreds last year. Like, I think it was in and around 10 assists last year in the league alone, which is unbelievable. I know that Rovers team kind of was the best team, but still unbelievable. So I'm not surprised at all that he's translated that form over to Blackpool. And I could definitely see in the next few years him even playing at a higher standard than Blackpool, and I'm not surprised at all that he's doing so there.
Yeah, Killian, how would you rate Andy Lyons so far? I know he's not really that popular with you Bows lads, haven't gone to Shamrock Rovers, but by all aspects he was a very good player for Bows at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, as much as it pains me to say it, he has done exceptionally well, both at Bows and at Rovers, and now at Blackpool as well. He was kind of, I think, only starting to spread his wings at Bows, and then once he went to Rovers, he just, as Adam said there, he ripped the league to shreds. He was unplayable at times, and as a wing back, as you said there, Adam, as well, he's got all the qualities, and I think potentially later in his career, he could even play further forward. Like, he's very, very, very good going forward. He's always impressed me there. Obviously, he's got the pace. He's very good on the ball, eye for a pass, and he can score goals if he needs to as well. So, like, you can expect big things from him going forward.
Yeah. Well, yeah, hopefully. I mean, we are probably looking for a couple of players to step up in those wing-back positions anyway. So, I think Andy Lyons is a superb player, and I think he could go up a few more levels, as you say. Then moving on, then Preston were beaten 3-0 by Spurs. A lot of Irish playing in that one. You had Robbie Brady, Tom Cannon, Alan Brown, Matt Doherty started as well. He came off in that game. Didn't look best pleased. He's not really enjoying the best run of games at the moment. I don't know why he's not playing. I know Emerson Royale's done okay here and there, but Spurs is still not looking that good, and he's still not playing, which would worry me. That I would say he'd probably go in the summer if he doesn't play that much more at the season. I mean, Conte's given him a go after the World Cup. He gave him another go, and now it seems he's kind of bombed out again. So I would say, it's not looking well for him. Then Man United beat Reading 3-1, and Jeff Hendrick started that game, but failed to really make an impact. And Shane Long came on the 76th minute. So neither of them really made that much of an impact. Andy Carroll getting sent off as well. But once Man United got the first goal with Casemiro, they blew Reading out of the way. Then Championship, Hull City, we spoke about it earlier on. 2-0, QPR, Connolly double. Cyrus Christie assist, Sean McLaughlin clean sheet, and Jimmy Dunn played for QPR. Just looking at some of the comments coming in there again now. I think someone's mentioning Marcus M says, Connolly, what a player. He's never fall in love with a lone player. Seems like a breath of fresh air, to be honest, full of energy and looks very determined to prove people wrong. McLaughlin came in and made the defence more solid also. So I'd imagine Marcus M is a Hull City fan. So anyway, his Guy Hardy came into the comments there and said, Marcus M, that's a load of bollocks. McLaughlin caused some serious faults in the back line, resulting in some crucial chances. So there, a bit controversial there. But Adam, when you saw the goal, were you surprised in any way? Or the goals, if you rather?
Well, we were kind of waiting on Connolly to hit a kind of patch of form this season. Like, I've always really rated him since he burst on the scene with those 2 goals against Tottenham a few years ago. But obviously he went to Venezia at the start of the season, didn't really work out. 5 appearances in the league, and he didn't score any goals. It kind of fell out of favour there, but he's come back to Hull now, and he's scored 2 goals. The first one was really impressive. Like, Cyrus Christie, unbelievable feat to kind of tangle past a few players in the box and then lay it back to Connolly. It was kind of a half volley into the corner. Like, it was a really, really good finish. Just like that kind of definitely gave him confidence then for the rest of the match, because when he went on then to score a second goal, it was a ball over the top and he just looked really calm, cool, and placed into the bottom corner. Like, that kind of a finish is the kind of one where a player with lacking confidence would definitely have kind of overtopped the touch or kind of hesitated, but he just looked like someone, he took that in his stride. And I'm really hoping that Aaron Connolly can kind of build off this great performance and keep going till the end of the season for Hull, because he's a player I've, over the last few years, always kind of championed as a big player for Ireland in the future. And we forget, as you said, yesterday is his birthday. Like, he only turned 23 yesterday. It feels like he's been around for so long because of when he burst onto the scene a few years ago, but he is still so young, and I really hope that he builds on from here.
Yeah, Killian, you're not coming up on my screen, but I know you're still there. We're going to skip over that, right, and go straight to Coventry then. They beat Hull 2-0. Huddersfield 2-0. Luke McNally got a clean sheet and Shawnee Maguire came on the 90 minutes sub. Just your opinion on Shawnee Maguire and Luke McNally going to Coventry. Adam, I'll come to you because, as I said, Killian for some reason isn't coming up on the screen there. It's just black. But what was your opinion on, I know you wanted to go in on Luke McNally anyway, but Shawnee Maguire as well, who is someone who obviously was quite prominent in the League of Ireland and seems to be a really big player for Ireland and stuff like that, but not really getting a look in at Preston, and has had to change it up and go to Coventry.
Yeah, as you said there, Sean Maguire was really on fire a few years ago with Coventry. He was a player who was just like, he really ripped up the League of Ireland. Like, it looked too easy for him at times when he was with Cork, but yeah, I suppose, as you said, it never really worked out for Preston. Like, he's had great moments and really good patches of form, but he never kind of sustained a place in the team. And obviously now he's running Coventry. I'm really hoping that he kind of does well there, because I still rate him as a really good player for Ireland. Like, he's gotten caps and he can do well, like, definitely. And then on Luke McNally as well, like, he's done unbelievable over the last few years. He only started playing at kind of a top level when he was about 16. I know he was playing for Enfield, which is, I think it was his local club, and then he went to St. Pat's at under 17 level, had a few loans, did really well at Oxford for 18 months. Then he went join Burnley in the summer for 2 million. And he's a really good player. He's really filled out over the last few years. I would have been aware of him through some lads I know from a few years ago, and he's really filled out. Like, I watched him a few times at under 17 and under 18 level, and he's really filled out. He's really tall and big centre half, and he's someone who I think could definitely get minutes at Burnley. Like whenever he's only played 3 games in the Championship this season, but whenever he has played, he's always looked really, really impressive. And obviously, as you said there yesterday, his clean sheet on his debut for Coventry. So he's the kind of player that I think can definitely go on and do really well. It feels like whenever he's taken a step up, he's always kind of taken it into his stride. Like whether it's gone from a schoolboy team to a St. Pat's youth team, or from League of Ireland to Oxford, he's always kind of taken it in his stride and actually looked completely comfortable at that level. He's never looked out of his depth with all the steps up that he's taken over the last few years. So he's definitely one to watch in the future, and I can definitely see him getting capped for Ireland as long as he maintains his kind of place in Coventry over the next few months.
Yeah, well, you never know. He could be a Premier League player next season, because obviously he goes back from Coventry having a good loan. He could go up with Burnley then, if they go up, of course. I see, Killian, you're back now on the screen. I'll just quickly come back to you just on the Aaron Connolly thing, if you wanted to speak about that, because that's obviously a big talking point over the weekend. Were you surprised to see him back among the score sheet? And did you see his highlights? Because I saw them, and he was involved in everything good that Hull did yesterday.
Yeah, I saw the the 2 goals and his involvement in the 3rd goal. He could have had a hat trick. There was another one he had where ball came over the top. Sorry. Hang on.
I can't hear him. Can you hear him, Adam?
I can hear him, yeah.
I don't know what that is. Well, anyway, look, I got to skip over it. Sorry, Killian. I can't hear you on it. Where were we? Right. Middlesbrough beat Watford 2-0. Darragh Lenihan played in that game. Clean sheet for Middlesbrough. Then Charlton, they got beaten 2-1 by Bolton. Owen Toll started for Bolton, and Owen Connell started for Charlton. Then in League One, Cheltenham drew 0-0 with Port Vale, and Will Ferry was man of the match for Cheltenham. And I see there's someone in the comments was asking about Aidan Keena's move to from Sligo to Cheltenham. So I think that's a bit of a strange move, to be honest. It doesn't scream ambition to me. I understand he might probably be going for more money or whatever, but I just don't see how it's beneficial for just a player that was doing really well. He'd have probably been better off going to somewhere, even like a Derry City or somewhere like that, and making his name there, kind of, at least playing European football and stuff like that. But he's gone to Cheltenham. I just think it's a bit of a weird one. Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, Aidan Keane is a player that I watched a lot last season for Sligo, and obviously he finished as top scorer in the league, and I thought he was unbelievable last season. Like, he did look like the kind of player I imagined, just kind of typical of the League of Ireland. I just thought he'd go to maybe Rovers or something, or as you said, Derry, like another top team that's looking to challenge and win the league next season. Yeah, like I know he played for St. Pat's at underage level, and he was really good. So even if he went back there, but yeah, I suppose like moving to England, and I seen today that it was a good chunk of money to offer him, and there was a release clause, so you can't really fault Sligo. But yeah, I suppose Charlton, maybe Aidan Keane thinks that he'll stand a better chance of getting more game time and kind of flourishing there, rather than going to a higher level and maybe not getting as much game time. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he does, because he's a player I rate massively. So a bit of a tough one for Sligo fans to take, because players like that are getting 20 plus league goals, they're very hard to come by.
Yeah, I agree. It's just bizarre in my opinion. Killian, I will come to you, but for some reason it's your audio's not working now at this stage, so I'm just not going to come to you, but we'll just leave you there, looking there anyway, for the duration. Then moving on, then MK Dons were beaten 2-0 by Exeter. Dawson Devoy started in that game, and Conor Grant came on as a sub. Dara Burns was an unused sub, and Pierce Sweeney captained Exeter. and got a clean sheet in that game. Morecambe beat Bristol Rovers 5-1, a goal and 2 assists for Dan Crowley, who is Irish eligible. Still hasn't been called up yet though. Ryan Delaney was a 65th minute sub, and Glenn Whelan was an unused sub for Bristol Rovers. Then in the SPL, Hibs beat Aberdeen 6-0 with Aidan McGeady starting. Liam Scales played in that one as well. He got a red card for 2 yellows, and Jim Goodwin unfortunately lost his job after the game and was sacked after a kind of bad run of results, and kind of really embarrassing result against a 6th tier Scottish team as well in the cup. So unfortunately for him, but look, I thought he was a good manager. I think he bounced back. St Mirren then beat Motherwell 1-0. Ross Tierney becoming a 56 minute sub in that game. And I know, Adam, you're going to move on to the Sunday games there, and just I suppose we'll reverse it there. You can ask me about them if you want, because Killian, I don't know why his sound isn't working, but it isn't for me.
Yeah, so for today in the FA Cup, three main stories from an Irish perspective were, well, we'll start with the main one, I suppose, which was Johnny Egan's 95th minute winner in a 3-3 draw with Wrexham for Sheffield United. Winner, sorry, equaliser, not winner. So yeah, Sheffield United were down to 10 men, but yeah, it was a header by Johnny Egan in 95th minute, so that was really impressive. Then Will Smallbone came on played 62 minutes for Stoke in 3-1 win today versus Stevenage, and Gavin Kilkenny was on the bench for Stoke as well. And then Jamie McGrath came on for Dundee in the 62nd minute today in their 2-0 loss at home to Celtic. So I suppose, Paul, starting off, obviously you'd be thinking, what did you think of the Johnny Egan goal today? That was an equaliser and not a winner.
Sure, it was a header, because the video that we put up, it looked like he kicked it. But I don't know, he just he made connection with it. It's the way that kind of came in from the camera angle, looks a bit strange. It looks more like he hit it with his foot than his head. But anyway, he did score, and he was doing the old shush, just telling people he must be talking to Killian. But what was I going to say? Yeah, look, I'm not surprised. Egan's a leader, but it's an embarrassing result for them. They'll be looking to, win that replay, and just bounce back from it, because it's a bit of an embarrassing scoreline or whatever. And Sheffield United are going strong in the Championship and stuff like that. They might actually probably want to be out of the actual cup itself to focus on the league, but either way, it was great to see Egan on the score sheet, and we all like John Egan as Irishmen, and he's our captain now, and he's quite prolific, to be fair to him. So yeah, I think Tom O'Connor played as well, and he got a good goal as well from Kilkenny. A lot of people saying that he should get praise as well. So it's good stuff.
Sheffield definitely, they have a great chance of going up. Obviously, they've got 57 points in second place. Like, they are 5 points off Burnley, but they're 12 points clear of Middlesbrough in third. So you think that, hopefully John Egan will be back, and we'll have another Irish representative in the Premier League for next year as well.
Yeah, someone says there in the comments it was off his shin, so I thought that was the case.
Oh, I must have got mixed up.
Yeah, well, it was a good goal either way. He just met it, and as he said, at the timing of scoring, it couldn't have been any more perfect. But what were the other games?
So the other game then, Smallbone played 62 minutes for Stoke in a 3-1 win against Stevenage, and Gavin Kilkenny was on the bench there. So what was your opinion on that, on Smallbone overall?
Standard enough. I'd like to see Smallbone step it up a little bit more over the coming weeks, and hopefully kind of make a case to get himself into the squad for March. But at the moment, he's not. Like, Joe Hodge for me is ahead of him in the pecking order, so it's up to him to turn that around, and hopefully he can do, and get him, well, not turn it around, because he's not done much wrong. He scored last week, but he needs to kind of stay consistently playing well and making himself stand out more. That would be my opinion on that. Gavin Kilkenny needs to leave Stoke and go somewhere where he's going to play.
And were you a bit disappointed with Smallbone last time getting called up to the squad, but not getting a game or getting even a minute.
Yeah, but I think more so around this time he can actually be capped. So I'd be getting him in there and not falling into that trap of if he does well. Not that I don't think England will be looking at him anyway, because I don't think they probably feel like he's up to the level in which that of the players that they want, or their pool of players. So I don't think that would really matter. But you never know with England, that they look at any chance to try and outdo us. So yeah, I would. I'd probably want to get him in there if I was being honest.
Yeah, and then the last game from the SPL was, well, as I said there earlier, Jamie McGrath coming on for Dundee in the 62nd minute. So he played the last half an hour. They lost 2-0 to Celtic. What do you think about Jamie McGrath's chances of playing for Ireland now? Obviously, he was playing a lot the last kind of 18 months, but what do you think now with the likes of Joe Hodge and Smallbone coming into midfield and the other options that we have in there?
The only thing is that he has the advantage of Stephen Kenny trusts him. That's the only thing I would say. But other than that, I think he's probably playing. I don't want to say too low a level, because he's obviously made his name at St Mirren and got into the kind of squad and done well off that. But I think when you have players playing at Championship or Premier League level, they're always going to be looked at as playing at a higher level. And until he's kind of playing in that, and there's obviously so many players that he can take. So Jamie McGrath's a quality player, and we know that. But I think if the way he kind of struggled at Wigan, and you look at where they are now in the Championship, it doesn't look well for him that he can't get into a struggling side like that. And he had to kind of go out on loan to try and get minutes and stuff like that. Now, he did score a cracking goal last week, but it was unfortunate that he's just. They were obviously a very poor opposition last week, but I'd like to see him step up like he was that season with St Mirren. Did you skip over the Liverpool game on Brighton?
Yeah, the last one. I was literally just about to say that there. Obviously the big shock of the day in the FA Cup was Brighton beating Liverpool 2-1. Evan Ferguson started but came off with an injury in the 89th minute. And then Andrew Moran was on the bench for Brighton and Kelleher was on the bench for Liverpool. But in terms of, obviously, the main talking point there from an Irish perspective is Evan Ferguson's injury. It was a pretty horrific tackle from Fabinho. I've seen a lot of people saying that should have been a red card. What were your thoughts on, firstly, the challenge, but also on the injury?
I thought the challenge was disgraceful. Should have been sent off. Everyone's going to say, "Oh, just saying that because you're an Everton fan." It was ridiculous. Like, it was no need for it where it was in the pitch, and he knew straight away, because he was like, you could see from his face, he knew it was a nasty one. But why are you throwing yourself in there? Ferguson had played well throughout the game. He's done well, but his hold up playing probably should have had a goal. Alexander Arnold cleared it off the line, but I thought he had quite a good game and a good showing. And yeah, they were going on and on about him on the commentary. Clive Tilsey kept on going on about the big man up front and how it's great to see teams playing with a big man, even though Danny Welbeck was up beside him. But anyway, yeah, there was just every bit of talk was just Evan Ferguson this, Evan Ferguson that, and then obviously we heard about the nonsense during the week about England coming in for him as well, bizarre stuff. But anyway, I think we're all going to be hoping that he's going to be okay, because we were hoping that, and the big thing was, if he's fit and available for March, he starts. And I think everybody agrees on that. He has to come in and start. But yeah, as far as his injury goes, I just hope it's not too long. I hope he's not out for too long or too long a layoff. And it was sad to see him kind of go off on the crutches after the game.
Yeah, it's kind of almost a shock that we're doing an Irish Abroad show and not just talking about Evan Ferguson scoring, because the last few weeks it's just been all about Evan Ferguson, because he's really been unbelievable the last few weeks in terms of his goals. But yeah, as you said, you just hope that it's just not that like almost typical unfortunate timing that he gets a knock like this just as he's kind of getting into the first team, scoring goals, kind of building that trust with De Zerbi, the Brighton manager. But yeah, hopefully that's not a long-term one, because I definitely would have him as the first name on the team sheet come March if he's still available.
Yeah, there's some weirdo in the comments who's obviously not an Irish fan and just keeps trying to say things to make himself look cool. So we'll just get rid of him. See you later, pal. Just looking at Mona Lisa Braga says here, Killian tried to his mic again, like I don't know what he's trying to say there. Then Barry says, any word on Ferguson's injury? Killian is dying to give his opinion on Liam Burt and his disgusting loyalty. And then Mona, these must be our mates, Killian, are they? Well, you could just nod because I can't hear you. But yeah, and then Healy says attempted murder regarding Evan Ferguson. But look, I think I think we'll leave it at that. As I say, Evan Ferguson was in tremendous form. Hopefully he can come back, still pick it up and be at the level that he was. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video if you're watching on YouTube. Please subscribe, and if you're listening on podcast, then don't forget to give us a follow as well. We'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching and take care.